I just think the Leafs need to give him the money. Like, just give him the big bag of money. And I'm not saying this because what has actually changed? The guy scored 40 goals last year. He was kind of actually sneakily a little inconsistent in the playoffs. I know people don't want to believe that, but he had some really rough outings. His start against Florida, I thought, was extreme dog behavior. But for the most part, Nylander has turned into a stud. He's been basically their most reliable playoff guy. He can score 40 goals now. He's a physical freak. And he wants money. And here's the thing. Trey Living, you're not going to be able to change the culture with William Nylander. Like, this isn't going to change anymore. I think what you just need to accept with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that's where I'm at, is like, you have your grief and your anger, and what are the other 7 stages of denial? I think that's what Leaf fans need to stop doing, is the stages of denial. This group of Leafs, these guys are always going to care about living in the city and playing for the Maple Leafs, a little bit about the media coverage, and feeling like it's unfair, and getting big old bags of money, unprecedented big old bags of money. And I think that the way you look at this is not, hey, this is going to extend someday down to the Fraser Mintons of the world and the Matthew Nuss. No, this isn't even going to extend to Tavares' next contract. That is part of these 3 guys and their legacy in the city. And those 3 guys are Auston Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander. And you just have to accept there's no getting off of the Nylander. You want that, he's going to walk in free agency. He's going to go to the team that we're watching tonight, the Chicago Blackhawks, who have a ton of cap space, and we'll be looking at him chomping at the bit to pair him with the Connor Bedard team while he's on the rookie contract. Say, wait, we can just get a 40-goal scorer who's in his 20s, who plays this way in the postseason? Yeah, let's do that. Let's fire that guy up onto a line. Let's have him play with Bedard. Let's see what happens. I bet you it's pretty good. I bet you the results are pretty solid. So just give Nylander the money and accept that this group is that there's no culture change coming. It's just time to accept the reality that William Nylander has turned himself into a bona fide stud. You're going to have your moments of inconsistency, but what player can you not say that about? Like Sidney Crosby? How many guys? How many guys do you really feel like show up for just about every single game? And I don't watch every Penguins game, so maybe Colby tells me different. He's like, actually, buddy, Sid's been dogging it. Maybe that's what he says when he comes on here. Anyways, Colby Armstrong, NHL analyst for Sportsnet and color analyst for the Pens. Do you think you could ever go against Sid? Like, even if you saw Sid dog it, right? You're doing Pens color, and he's having one of those nights, and it's just not there. Would you even have the guts to do it? Would you even have the guts to say, like, you're in between, you're there, and you just go, Sid didn't really back check there? Would you do it?
Yeah, you got to say, like, this is what I think you say, like, it's just not going his way tonight.
Yeah. He's battling it.
That's a good way to get around it so that when I have to face him around Pittsburgh, I'm not getting melted by the Prince of Pittsburgh. Yeah. He's been going good though, buddy.
Yeah.
He's been going good. What a great start to the year for him and Gino and Pittsburgh. But man, what can you say about the guys you were just talking about? Auston Matthews, back-to-back Hatties. Nylander's a beast. I even like Marner's just like on pucks, like creating turnovers everywhere. They got guys going. We got guys going right now. How about Klingberg?
Klingberg looks great. Through 2 games, Klingberg looks phenomenal. I would say that through the first 2, he's been their best defenseman.
Well, I think he has a bigger compete level than people give him credit for. And I also just think like his, when you look at the makeup of the Leafs, I think when you look at them and what they're good at and maybe what they needed, and I think he's just like the DNA of him is ice in his veins, tightrope walker on the blue line and just a creative offensive guy. Mm-hmm. And I think that just also on top of it just puts him in a really good spot on a really good power play.
Yeah, that's the big one for me is I actually love – I like the way that he can snap a pass, a breakout pass. He's big. You're right. He's a little bit more competitive than I thought that he was going to be, maybe just a touch nastier than I thought he was going to be. But watching the power play, Morgan Rielly was really good at it, but he wasn't great at it, and Klingberg is great at it. Just the threat to shoot and finding the right guy just about every single time. I know that they were second in the NHL last year, the Leafs were, but you never – this is such a weird one to say. This is like – it's like the Reeves thing right now, where sometimes you have the numbers and sometimes you have the eye test and you go, okay, something here is not quite matching up. And the Leafs power play was second in the NHL, but I think most fans would watch it and they never felt that, oh, you took a penalty against the Leafs, you're dead now. Through 2 games, that's how I feel. Like the other team is completely smoked.
Yeah, that's the same, talking about Pittsburgh. We got, Penguins got Carlson.
Yeah, I know, but they did the double D thing, which I'm like, anyway.
No, they got away from it.
They did? They started the season with that.
Yeah, they did. They started it like that, and then they were like, I don't know, let's just let Carlson be a wizard here, just be unpredictable. And I think, I think Klingberg's not Carlson, of course, but I think he's got Carlson-esque traits with his game, with the way, his creativity and, those...
He's like a bigger Carlson.
Passes.
He's like a bigger Carlson, but
those shot passes in around the net, he dangles, he has ice in his veins in spots where most guys would just, rim it back down below and restart, where he'll look you off at the top and make certain plays. So, yeah, he's a talented player, and then that's one thing that he's... I'm not even... I played against him in Sweden my last year. He was 18 years old when I played against him. And he, I was like, of all the guys in Sweden, I was like, this guy's playing in the NHL. So he just has that poise that you have to have on top of just being creative offensively. And I just think that's an upgrade. Nothing against, Morgan, but I just think it's an upgrade just because that's what he does.
Yeah. I think that Morgan Rielly, this is actually where you're happy that you have that kind of a leader in the room as well if you're the Leafs, because I genuinely don't think that he's sour about it. He's already got a big bag of money. He's established with who he is in terms of the Leafs, right? He's rich. He's not like a guy that is in a contract year. That would be a tough one, right? Even last year, I think Nylander pouted a little bit when they took him off the top power play. And I went, well, a little bit fair, He's looking at this and saying, I'm going to try to get 40 goals this year, and I've got a contract on the horizon, and these power play points probably mean something to me. And all of a sudden you're on power play 2, which sometimes gets 30 seconds, the Leafs don't split it up 50-50. They didn't go, don't worry, Willie, you're getting the other one. I think with Morgan Rielly.
Don't worry, Willie.
Yeah.
Willie, what are you complaining about? We're giving you 10 seconds on the second unit.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry. Yeah, get out there. It's your time. It's your time. Go, 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 go. That's it. That's what he got. So, yeah, I think that there was a little moment of pouting last year, which, to be fair, I can't really overly criticize. What?
I think Willie's game, and I heard you before I came on talking about, first of all, bags of money. Yeah, I heard that.
Give those 3 guys their big, just Scrooge McDuck towers where they go swim around in their cash. They spit out the dirty coins in their mouths. And everyone in Toronto goes, there's the CN Tower. And then those are the 3 towers that are full of money for Mitch, Matthews, and Nylander.
Yeah, I do think that he's kind of come around, to being way more consistently good.
Agree.
And
he's a different threat.
Yeah, he's totally one of those. I guess I could put it towards when the Pens won back-to-back cups. They had Sid and Gino, and then you got you had Kessel, And he's kind of like that guy that can produce and make things happen. And I even think the game's even more different from those times, 2016, 17. But it's just an extra added consistent point producing boost of a guy that's dangerous. And last year in the playoffs, I felt like every time he was on the ice, he was dangerous, And I think so far to start this year, he has been as well, right? So how long can he keep it going? But there's no question he's a dynamic, really good player. Really good player.
Yeah. No, he's been amazing. And he does look refreshed to start the season, but I was thinking I think he's just the same guy that he was to finish last year. But, I want you to think back for just a quick second and remember a time when you were just a little boy growing up in Lloydminster and, you'd be watching NHL. You would go, God, I hate how they talk about the Leafs, how they gas them up so hard, and how now you just did the thing where you're like, they're kind of like the Penguins when they won the Cup after 2 games, which is what we love to do. Leafs are 2-0, Matthews a couple of hat tricks, Nylander looks great, and we're immediately back on how many Cups do you think the Leafs are going to win? To 7? Can you win 2 Stanley Cups in a year? Because I think they might be the first team to do it. I genuinely, this is truth serum time. This is how sick I am as a Leaf fan. I texted some buddies after the second game, and I went, I really do think this year's different. I really do. Deep down in my bones, I really do think that they're better.
Hook, line,
I know.
and
I'm
sinker.
sick. I'm sick. Please help me.
Yeah, you're not alone, buddy. Your help group, Leafs help group, get help group for the Leafs fans is ram jam. You're on a waiting list.
Disgusting.
You're on a waiting list, but so
I know.
Yeah, it's like that every year. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna die waiting.
Another year.
I'm gonna die waiting.
Welcome to another year, Leafs fans. This is great.
I know, man. But it's so true. It's like, yeah, that was what we used to do with the Leafs when they were younger was, hey, are they more like Chicago or Pittsburgh? What do you think? Is which one of these
think about
two?
now, hey,
I know.
let's think about Bedard now.
I know.
Because I think that's pretty cool. Like, he had a lot of pump up, right? Like, we're all talking about him. We've seen him for how many years now? And, he's done these amazing things. And then he just gets to go and, like, we'll keep an eye on him. Yeah, you're going to keep an eye on him, right? Right, Bugs? But he's in Chicago, so ho-hum, let's just look at the standings here and there every once in a while. How many points he got? It's not the same when you're here and in the pressure cooker, and it's like every day.
Yeah.
So,
you know what, though?
He's going to get a taste of it tonight.
It's funny that you mentioned this because one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was how important he is for the NHL. Because, like, I'm watching the opening night stuff, right? And it felt like an event. Yeah. And I'm watching your content with him and Sid doing the draws. And I even thought Sid was a little scrappy when you called him the old guy. And he said the older guy. And he was, haha.
Yeah, I know. He checked me up right away.
Did. I know. He went the older guy. And I went, oh, Sid's not ready to just give this up. And yeah.
No.
That's what I'm saying. It's just, it was a little, and I went, oh, these are kind of two cool hockey markets going head to head, and it felt like a real thing. And Sid scored a goal, and Bedard has, I think, a couple of the plays of the game, and the pass, his first assist, right? You go, that's spectacular.
Hey, wait, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What'd you think of, like, the ref at the start?
I hated it, obviously.
Oh, my God.
I thought it was the corniest thing. I would have immediately, like, if I was...
I'm like, isn't that a World Juniors thing? What are we doing?
No, dude. After he did that, if I was what's the head of the referees called? Like the head of the referees,
Stephen Walkham.
No, if I was Stephen Walkham, right? I'd have put the call in like, all right, let's get that guy. Like first break in the play, they would have had the color guys being like, Ferraro would have been like, the ref's coming off the ice here. This is highly unusual behavior. There's a new ref coming out. What's happening now? And then you would have never heard of that guy again. That guy would have never fished. I know some people are like, that's so fun, and hockey needs to be more fun.
I heard people thought it was cool.
No,
I was like, oh, my God, what are we doing?
This is what I'm saying. Hockey definitely needs to have more personality injected, right? There's no question that some guys need to just embrace being themselves and realize that it's not going to come with the end of the world, right? But this is not what it needs. It doesn't need an official being. You don't need the official. Welcome to the NHL. Like, shut up, dude. Please shut up. You're the ref. And you know what it is for me is I already hate refs so much. Like, this is a very anti-ref show. Okay, like it is. It's just this show. I think I could be an MLB umpire in basically a month. I don't think it's that hard to be an old guy who stands there and is like, wait, the ball went over the plate? Oh, yeah, it's a strike. Yeah, it's okay. Like, I don't think. I think I could do it reasonably well. I don't think you would watch the game and say, this guy is the worst we've ever seen. They would still think there are worse appearances from umpires than me. I wouldn't make it like, but these officials, they always make it about themselves. And that was a moment where I went, see, these guys really do think they're a part of the show. They think they're like a part of the spectacle that people are there to see. He's the one that will welcome the next one into the league. Like, no, this is a pain. That guy has to go. Anyways, back to Bedard. Back on the rails.
Speech off the opening draw. Come on. Yeah, I know you took it. You went crazy on it, but like, it's just like what? Like, I when I saw that, I'm like, what are we doing here?
I know. That's not the personality the game needs. The personality of the game needs is not more refs having.
They need Colby on the couch with the boys.
100%. Yes. I prefer that infinitely to this. And that was actually a good segment. I really enjoyed that one with Bedard and Sid. And I went, oh, this is nice. I always like it when you get with Sid. Okay, so I was thinking about how important he is to the league. And here's another game, right, where it's the Canadian. This is the real Canadian debut, all right? Like Montreal. Yes. You had the people in Montreal watching. But now it's like this is Canada's team, right? This is 40% of the population is here in this province. in this country. And everybody now, welcome Bedard. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And boy, does that piss off Vancouver. People didn't even mention you, because you're on late. It's too late. All of us are asleep. All of us are asleep in our bed. Brock Besser scored a bunch of goals. We were all like, that's nice. That's good for him. He's got
Your eyes didn't even focus in the morning when you're checking the stats. You're like, that's nice. Besser 4?
No.
Oh, okay.
I love how Matthews had a hat trick, Besser had 4, and everyone was like, Matthews night. I went, I agree. It was Matthews night. Screw Besser's night.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so he gets his debut. I think people here are just going to care regardless because it's Canada and he's going to be Connor Bedard. And and next year, the Blackhawks are going to have to be more competitive, right? Like they're going to get off the Mrazek contract and they'll bring in hopefully a goalie that is real. Although Mrazek was pretty decent opening night. I loved that he stole one from Dubas. He was like, "Thanks for the money, Kyle. Now here's a big old fat L for you as I'm doing my going coast to coast in the crease, big old saves on your Penguins." That was nice. That was a little cherry on top for Leaf fans. But yeah, I think that they're going to have a ton of cap in Chicago. They have to spend it because you got to take care of Bedard on his rookie deal because he's good enough. But I do wonder how important you think he is because you're down in the States. You've seen what Sid has done for Pittsburgh. Obviously, Chicago, with all those cups recently, it has proven that they can quickly turn back into a hockey market. So it's like locally, that's fine. But how important do you think he is to sell things nationally? How quick do you think that's going to happen?
Yeah, I think it's big. I think everyone's talking about him.
Yeah.
I think he's talked about on every show down there.
He was on McAfee.
And yes. Yeah, he was on McAfee. ESPN has hockey, so you'd hope that they would do that. But yes, being on McAfee, that's pretty big. So I think he's huge for the game. I think he's important. And on Black Friday when everyone's waiting outside of the Walmart to get in there and get the new Xbox or whatever.
I'd rather die than do that, but yeah.
I just picture this morning at morning skate, all the media doing
I know.
That's what they are. You know when you're going to be there?
Yeah.
It's going to be insane here. But yes, he's important and big for the game. It's look at Zegras, who plays in Anaheim, who had sick jerseys last night, by the way. Those eggplant teal things they brought back, those are so good. And, look at Zegras. Look how big Zegras is.
Yeah.
And, but look, Bedard's in Chicago. It's so good for the league. Yeah. He's in a major team, original 6 team, and they've got a pretty big fan base, the Chicago. And I think watching him play, he's really good. So it's a good, the way it's turned out has been huge, I think, for hockey.
So this is a serious question. Okay.
Is tonight going to be brutal?
No. Is tonight
Matthews
versus Bedard? Is it the two best wristers going head to head in NHL history?
Mm-hmm.
In the history of the game. Yeah.
It is. And you know what's funny? The game against Sid, right? It was that was his idol. He grew up watching him and, obviously super complimentary. And it was kind of crazy because he's a lot like Sid in a way. And when I was, getting to hang out with him or spend a little time.
Yeah, have something
he's like a little humble guy. Oh yeah, if I'm lucky to go first overall, and then
I hate that.
And then he's at I know. And then he's at media day and he hasn't even made the team yet, but and we're all going, yeah, okay, you made the team, kid. Relax.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, and he's wearing the jersey already and he's wheeling around with Sid doing a bunch of things. And it's just I think it made him kind of nervous just because he's like that. And Sid would have been like that too. And, and then on top of it, his shot, he just watched Auston Matthews like crazy and tried to have the same shot as him.
Yeah.
Be his shot. And so it's pretty cool, I think, for a kid. Talk about just being humble, but also being starstruck to, play against Sid, take the opening face off your first game, go to Montreal next and play in the Bell Center, and then come in and here we go again, the Leafs, yes, but Auston Matthews, another guy that he's tried to pattern his shot off of and, kind of do exactly what he does, and he has this like electric shot. So yeah, it's two of the best shooters, two of the best guys with that drag release shot in the league going head to head.
Obviously,
really awesome.
Obviously, the schedule comes out after the draft lottery, right? For the next year?
I think so. I can't remember.
Yeah, because I need that checked out, Jobo, because I would say that if it's not...
Oh, yeah, it does, because it does. It does for sure, because the playoffs we're still rolling.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay, because I was going to say, if it was the other way around...
what time it was.
Well, because if it was the other way around, then you could lock in the conspiracy theories of they rigged Bedard to Chicago, because they'd be like, yeah, it just so happened that his first 3 games were against Pittsburgh, Montreal, and Toronto. Who would have thought that this is where, hey, what a streak of luck for the league. No, yeah, obviously it's that. As I was saying it, I was like True Detective at the very end of the first season. Like I saw the green paint and was like, oh, like, holy crap. Holy crap. It's a monster in a house. I figured it out. Yeah. All right. So, yeah.
I'm doing the game tonight.
I know you are.
Bunks, I'm doing the game. I'm pumped.
I know. Yeah. What are you most excited for then? Just those 2 guys? Because I know you're a big, like, the teams do get up for the Stars game. And I would imagine it's a little different in this one because it's not your OV Sid game where both teams are
line?
Good. Yeah. What's the line?
I think it's like
Leafs minus 500.
+3. Yeah, it's like up there. It's like +3 something.
Well, this is the thing. This is the one thing that really sucks about the Leafs is that you can't bet them.
It is
ever.
That.
You can never bet the Leafs. The only way you can bet them is -1.5 because it's always so juiced, and then the value is always insane the other way. Like, here's what I would say: bet the over. That's the one that you should do. Is the over at 7.5?
I don't even know.
Yeah, no. Let me do it. Let me just go check the old site here. Let's do waiting to talk. It's 6.5. What minus what though?
I would say this though, like if you're looking at team, like this should be, the Leafs should beat them.
Yeah,
if they're serious. So
they're serious. Yeah, they're like. So hey, if we're still doing Leafs back-to-back cups coming up this year, different. They better beat the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. Otherwise, parade is canceled.
Of course, any team could win on every night.
No, but not tonight. Yeah, not tonight, though. If the Leafs are serious.
Tune in tonight on Sportsnet. Come on, come on, Bucks. Tune in tonight on Sportsnet. You never know what could happen, but yes, it's Matthews against Bedard.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm down.
That's a really good way to sell it. Hey, what are you doing tonight? You want to watch Matthews versus Bedard? Like, yeah, that's nice. I feel like I'm the only guy in Toronto who doesn't get to go to this game.
Hey, let's just watch Bedard.
Yeah.
Let's just see what he can do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And he is pretty good to watch. I give him a lot of credit. A few games in the league, and, he's had moments of, he got his first goal, obviously his first point in his first game, but, like, he has moments inside of there also where he just makes lots happen.
Yeah.
Just makes tons happen. So, he gets tons of chances, and he creates space. He's not like my first impression. I'm like, wow, he looks so tiny out there. Like he's not a big guy, but he's just crafty, and a lot of pucks go through him, and he just finds them. And so, he's got a gift as well. He can score from long range. He can make plays as well. So it's like, lots goes through him, and lots happens. There's lots of moments where it's on his stick, and it is exciting. He's an exciting player.
Dude, that first game, I thought he looked a little nervous at times, and then they finished the second intermission. They're like, he's got 8 shot attempts, and he's around it the entire game. But you're right. I think this is a sign of getting older, is that the smaller guys and the younger guys just start to look younger and smaller. Like they look more and more like boys.
Yeah.
And he had that one moment in the first game where he got a little hit from behind. I think actually it was Achari, right, who gave him a bump.
Yeah.
And he sort of flew, and I went, oh, that's his little boy. Like, that's a little child out there that we're watching do this. And there's been the same thing here with Fraser Minton for the Leafs, right? He's 19.
Yeah.
And they flash him on the bench, and they show his face. And I go, whoa, where your parents allowed you to do this? They signed off? You're allowed to be here? Because I don't think you're allowed to make this choice on your own, son. You got to wait. So, yeah. Maybe that's the true battle is actually the young guys, the young guns of the league is Minton versus Bedard. Who's gotten more hype this offseason? If you actually put together, I'm not even joking.
Maybe,
If you put together all the articles and all the podcast time and just different things that have been done on both guys, it's definitely Bedard, but Minton would be shockingly close. Shockingly close to what
Minton
the discourse
would be right there.
Yeah, it would be. It would be just right neck and neck. It's like if we did it by poll numbers, when you see it on CNN or Fox when they're doing it, and here's the leadership race. It would be so close. It'd be so close. Minton would be right there underneath.